button now. So a recording has just started. As long as this group is pretty small, so just keep yourself on mute if you aren't speaking, and remember to unmute yourself when you're speaking. You can choose to put your questions in the Zoom chat, and I will address them there, or you can just come off mute, raise your hand. Feel free to get real jiggy with all the controls that we have in Zoom. The group is pretty small, so I don't mind being interrupted, and that just means I get to drink more coffee when you guys are talking, so totally okay with that. For those of you who do not know me, I am Terin, the person behind .loop, behind just reviewing all your contracts and make sure you get paid in the end, which is why we're all here. So I was originally licensed in March of 2016. I eventually got my broker's license. And when the opportunity presented itself, I asked Jeremy if I could join his leadership team and help with just ensuring that our compliance procedures and all of that was followed. I'm also a full-time employee. I work in IT for the CDC. So I have a strong commitment to technology, time management, systems, stuff like that. Then I got a couple other fun facts for me or about me. This is going away. I no longer want to be a landlord, but I will always remain a karaoke all-star. All right, so while we're all here, we're here to talk about the campaign templates inside of KV Core. So I know that there's tons and tons and tons and tons of training and guidance in KV Core. But what I found with the campaigns is that you really kind of just have to get into it, and then hopefully I can explain this in a way that you guys can understand, and it's a little bit more like slowed down. And so please feel free to ask questions throughout. Again, this is my first attempt at delivering this content. So I'm welcoming feedback. Feel free to let me know how it went, or if there's other questions, we can create like a parking lot and I can address some of those questions later. If we have time, I'm more than happy to jump into it now. I know everybody is at a different point as far as their savviness when it comes to technology. So I'm gonna try to go as slow as possible. Let me know if I'm moving too fast, okay? I'm going to start picking on some people now so I can drink some coffee. Hold on, I need to admit someone else. Justice. Let me know how your KV Core experience has been going. What are you looking to get out of this, this training? Sorry. Oh my God. Leave me alone. Justice? No? All right, someone else. I'll try Desta. Desta, how is KV Core going for you? What are you looking to get out of this training?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Justice.
Okay, perfect. I love KV Core. Like, it's keeping my business very organized. I've been using the hashtags to keep like every client like under the same like organization. So that's been going really good for me.
Awesome. What are you looking to get out of this training?
I want to learn how to maybe set up the campaigns. Okay. Is that when you use it for social media? Just to be sure.
Not necessarily. No. No.
Okay, I want to learn how to like promote more on like social media. I think it's like the landing page or something like that. I want to get that out of this training.
Okay, so that may be another opportunity to have another one of these sessions focused mainly on like marketing, like promoting ads, things like that. But I'm gonna focus more on a campaign. So in a few, it might all, if you're already using hashtags, you probably have some type of triggers happening. It sounds like.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll dive into it and then we'll see. But I'm gonna take that on and see if we can maybe set up another one of these in the future and dive a little bit more into like social media and things like that.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
No problem. Ayana.
How's it going? Yeah, I love KV Core. Definitely want to get a little bit more familiar with campaigns because I feel like sometimes I can kind of lose track of, what's automatically going. So just really get familiar with, how to keep everything on track.
Okay. All right, anybody else want to tell me about their experience with KV Core before we move on to the next slide? All right. All right, moving right along. All right, so one way I like to look at the smart campaigns is your campaign. Let's think of the actual campaign as your umbrella. Underneath that umbrella is a series of templates. What you have, the options that you have within KV Core are emails, text messages, a variety of tasks. You can call tasks that will prompt you to make a phone call. You can use tasks that will prompt you to just remind you. One example might be, hey, this campaign is about to end. You need to do something else with this person. That kind of reminder. You can trigger a combination of all of those, all of the above. And then there's also webhooks. So I'm not going to dive too much into webhooks. This is more of an advanced feature right here, but I'm actively learning what this is right now. One opportunity that I can say I think it will help with, I am an email marketing person. So I like to send newsletters. So if you have a tool outside, basically a webhook allows KV Core to speak to a third party system. So that might be, if you have, like I said, an email marketing tool, there's several different tools you can use. I think Google Sheets might be one. So basically it just allows you to pull out, certain details and then push them into another system. That's the best way I can describe that. So one of the ways I'm trying to figure out if I can make this work is if I put a person into KV Core, can I take and automatically push it into MailChimp? So then now that person is also, receiving my newsletters, things like that. So that's what a webhook is. It's just sharing specific details. I think there's one other option too, which is more advanced, and that's voicemail dropping. So say if you just wanted to just like send a voicemail to someone, however that works, I think there's a service there that KV Core offers to get that accomplished. There's one other opportunity to do that, but we'll focus on the easier ones: email, text, prompts, and task reminders, those type of things. And then how you would trigger a combination of those actions. So a trigger is, I don't really know how else to explain that, but it's really just like a call to, how basically the trigger is going to say, okay, XYZ needs to happen. So these can be launched based on the status of a contact. So if you have, when you first get into KV Core, for example, if you put a person in there as a new lead and a buyer, they're going to automatically receive messaging related to that. One of the examples Justice presented is if you add a hashtag to the person, then they would automatically receive communication based on that hashtag. Or say if you move a person from one status to another, that may trigger a campaign. So the trigger there is basically in the middle that says, okay, this happened, so now XYZ is going to happen. And so those are the three components that I believe are most important about structuring your campaigns. Any questions about just these? I wanted to kind of keep it as simple as possible and give you guys a visual of sort of how it works. Any questions about these key components to build out a smart campaign? All right, moving to the next slide. So system campaigns, I refer to system campaigns as those out of the box campaigns that KV Core offers you. So my biggest concern here is that certain campaigns that are default or system campaigns will communicate on your behalf with your clients and customers using a voice that may not be yours. So I think using your own voice is super, super important. And ultimately, it is your responsibility to review those campaigns and customize them so that it uses your voice and ultimately helps your business. But they are giving you some out of the box, ones to work with. But I'm not really a fan of the language there. I wasn't really a fan of the language. So first thing we're going to do is take a look at some of the system campaigns. And then I'm going to show you some of my own campaigns so that you can kind of see how I took some of my own kind of roadmaps in my own business and created campaigns to support that. One thing I want you to pay attention to on this slide, what I'm showing you is how like all of this comes together in that marketing, in that campaign library. So here you have, this is an example of one of them, and I'm going to jump into KV Core in a second here. But this is an example of one of them, a default like new lead. A lot of them are default, the system campaigns, they are labeled with the word default. But this one, you can tell this is a system campaign just because of the way it's named. It talks about the triggers here. You can kind of see, okay, this starts when a seller, you see the person, is a new lead. You see the trigger there. And this always runs, I came in here and turned this stuff off though, because again, I didn't like it. But this is where you would view the triggers on this left side, on this gray side. Then your templates would be the actions that are imported within this campaign. And then if you wanted to see what, say, okay, after I do this status, if I put a person in here as a seller, status new lead, they're immediately, you see the time frame there, immediately, let's make this a little bit bigger. Immediately, they're going to receive, hold on, let's scroll up. Immediately, they're going to receive this email, right? First email agent to contact, and you can preview. If there's a preview button there, you can take a look and see what that language might be. So here is the language. Thanks for visiting our site. Are you considering selling your home? This first two sentences is a problem for me. I already determined that if I figured out that you was a seller and put you in here. And did you really come from my site? What if you really didn't do that? So I think that's kind of weird. So this is kind of one of the reasons why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out and figure out how can I customize my own campaigns. This is a visual, let me go back out, that kind of helps, but I'm gonna come back to this after I jump over into KV Core. So I am stopping to share my screen and now switching over to my Google Chrome. All right, so how to get to your campaigns. Again, that's marketing autopilot. If you're in the new version of KV Core, this might say manage campaigns. If you're in the old version, it's gonna say start a campaign, which I'm glad that they changed that language because that also doesn't make sense. Manage is more appropriate in my opinion. Then you got two pretty much modules within this, like within this space. I don't want to call it a library because it's confusing. You got my library, campaign library, and a KV Core library. Like, okay, which library is it? I have no idea. But let's just call it a campaign library. This is where you'll be able to see like all of the different, if you haven't created one, you'll probably notice all of them have this lock next to it. And that's because these are default system campaigns. So I'm gonna start with the ones that I actually like, okay? Any of the ones that say default contract, I actually like these, and I'll tell you why. Default contract buyer. Default contract buyer is literally just a weekly reminder to touch that person. So when you come into your dashboard, you might see tasks here for all of the individuals that you have in that bucket. So you see, here's a couple. This is a seller I have an active listing for. This is a person I have on a buyer agency agreement. So it's telling me every week, touch on them, which I actually kind of like that. I'm gonna go back. It's pretty much the same. I don't know why they have 3 of them in here because it's pretty much the same. It's just the only difference is the buyer label or seller label or renter label. But it's all just saying, hey, go touch that person every week. So if you need something to organize you in that fashion, when you have a contract or a client, I actually add that campaign to both of those statuses in KV Core. So if I go to my Smart CRM, just so you guys can see the different statuses that I have available in here, you'll see like new leads, active leads, new leads, those different sections. But if I just filter on client and contract and apply a filter, these are people where either I have them under contract or we're actively looking for stuff. These are people I want to touch like as much as I can regularly. These are the people who are most important to me. The rest of those people can receive automated messages. But these people right here, I want to know what you guys think of the homes that I'm sending you. I want to know, I want to make sure I don't leave you behind, basically, is what I'm saying. So I like adding that specific campaign. I'm going to see if I can go back and just get back right where I was. Yeah. So I like adding the contract campaigns for that reason. Just a reminder to myself that, hey, did you talk to this person? And then I'll click done just to keep all my tasks up to date. But yeah, so I do like the default contract renter, default contract buyer. If I had a conversation with KV Core, I would probably ask them, why isn't this just for all people under contract? Why do we have to separate it if it's just one reminder weekly to say, check in on this person? This is just kind of extra taking up space in here. But that I think like that, I don't know, whatever. But these are all the same, basically. Default closed. Let's take a look at what's going on in this one. So the way that you would actually research what exactly is happening here. Okay, if I put this person in a status of closed, no matter who they are, buyer, renter, seller, whoever, 30 days, you see the time frame here, 30 days from that date of close, they're going to get this message. Hey, it's been a month already. How's it going? I pride myself on constant improvement. I want to be the best real estate agent out there. Do you have any feedback you'd be willing to share? I don't like this. This is 30 days later. I'm asking you for a Google review like 2 days after the closing. I'm not asking you to tell me any feedback 30 days later. You could be like totally like over me by then. This is not my favorite. Congratulation on a closing call 33 days after closing. That's insane. Personally, y'all may feel different about this. Then ask for a referral 90 days later. I don't like this. Then ask for testimonials again 120 days later. This is weird. Personally, for me, this is weird. So this might be an opportunity for someone like me. I use MailChimp. So the moment I can sit at the closing table and trigger, let's use some of the terminology here, trigger an email to come out to you to say, congratulations on your closing, using my own email marketing templates in MailChimp. Now, one of the opportunities that I see is I can stop paying for MailChimp if I get it set up over here in KV Core. But the way that that's set up over there, I'd rather use that versus this. And then in the future, when I have time to build out, another campaign that's personal to me, I'll do that. But I just want you guys to kind of figure out, how do you know what's going on in here? This is a really popular one right here, default new lead. So if anybody pops up into your KV Core and they're assigned as a buyer or a seller, or a buyer in a new lead, you know that these items are going to happen. They're going to be talking to your client or potential client on your behalf, and it's going to sound very robotic. It's going to be first a task. You see the method there is a task that happens immediately that says you need to send a text to them. So let's just say send a text or email them. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Then immediately you're going to see in your dashboard a reminder to call them. So these are those prompts we were talking about, call prompts and tasks. 7 minutes later, okay, that's what that means. 7 minutes later, they're going to get a text message that says, hi, thanks for requesting property info on our site. Just curious, are you actively searching for a property, or are you just browsing right now? Now, this works for a person who was actually searching on your site, but let's say you ask KV Core to dump, I don't know, 1,500 buyers that you had in your cell phone into new lead and buyer status. Now they are all getting this email or this text message that says, thanks for going to my site. This person might not even know your site. They might not even know how to get there. So I'm not a fan of that either, but this may work for a person who is really organically coming from your site. Then it's, thank you for checking on my site again. Are you looking to buy soon or just browsing at this point? I do like this message. It kind of gets to the straight to the point. Like, hey, are you trying to buy something, or are you window shopping right now? But this is kind of boring. I mean, this is just text. I'm not a complete fan, but you can go through each one of these and see, okay, day 2, are you an investor? I don't know if I really need to be asking that question. So a lot of these things I turned off just because it wasn't my voice. I wasn't really feeling it. So now I'm going to show you some of my own. One of them is, so remember that roadmap that I just had on the screen in the presentation. So what I sat down and thought about was, okay, what am I doing right now? Well, I'm getting these leads from Ojo or OpCity or whoever you're getting leads from. Those are live transfers. And then as soon as I get off the phone, I'm trying to scramble to make sure I send a text message with my contact information. I'm trying to make sure that I wrote down everything they said that they liked as far as what they want to look at. Most of the time, the house that they have interest in is already sold. So I'm already scrambling to try to get an FMLS, and I might be in a car. And I need to send an email too, just, hey, thanks for, it was such a pleasure. I'm so glad that Ojo or OpCity connected us. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me about your goals. Here's my contact information. I've already started a customized home search for you. Start looking at properties that fit your criteria. Take a look at these and let me know when you're available to tour. Something like that. That's more my voice and straight to the point and fits better with how this person came to me, right? So what I did was start a campaign from scratch. And it helps. It helped when I was in the office, and Norman's office was just a small group trying to think through this because I had that whiteboard. But you may want to just have like a piece of paper nearby and you actually write down each step that you want to do for this person. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I want to send an email immediately thanking them. I want to send a text message immediately, pretty much saying the same thing, but in a Twitter version, in a tweet version, less characters. 2 days later, I want to make a task to myself to make sure that I'm actually giving them properties to look at, because that's what we talked about when you were transferred to me by so-and-so lead source. And I may even want to text you and say, hey, I'm setting up, search alerts. Is there any like must-haves that you may have, any areas you're not wanting to move into, something like that. Okay. A week later, I might want to ask, how's your home search going? A week later, I might want to ask, something else. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if these people are serious, we talking a lot more because of pre-approvals, right? We're trying to make sure, where does the money reside? I'm trying to figure that out. So I'm gonna stop this whole thing around 28 days. I might want to have a reminder like, hey, this person is ending. Figure out what you want to do with this person. Do you want to restart this campaign all over again? And then do I want the whole flow to be restartable? So I sat there with a piece of paper and just kind of like wrote down, what exactly do I want each one of these messages to say? Okay, boom. Then I come out into campaign library, add a campaign, fresh one. Then it's going to ask me to set up my triggers. Well, I'm using a lead source of Ojo. So let's say the source is Ojo, but wait, I might have Ojo lead sources in here that are closed. I don't want to talk to the people that's closed and say, hey, I'm so glad that you connected with me, blah, blah, blah. I already sold you a house, like go away now. I mean, not literally, but kind of. Or they under contract. If we under contract, I'm talking to you anyway. Like, I don't want to talk to you like that. So I'm like, let me put all of my triggers together so you guys can see, like, source is Ojo, status is not closed, status is not contract, and status is not client. Because in my mind, the way I run my KV Corp, if you're in client or contract, I'm already being reminded to touch you every week. I'm already being reminded to love on you. So I don't want to talk to them. I'm already trying to figure out how to talk to them. And then I wanted to use hashtags so you can see Ojo is added. So sometimes when I'm adding my contacts this way, like quick add, if you put a hashtag down here, it'll automatically add them to whatever you're trying to do. So I usually just put the hashtag in here, add the people's information, make sure I allow them to text, email, call, put all their contact. I might put Ojo in here, but there's 2 triggers. It's either Ojo is here or Ojo is here. Both ways, they're going to get triggered this campaign. So that's how the triggers work. So here, that's it. And then I don't really care if you're a seller or a buyer or a renter. If you came through this source, I'm going to talk to you like I'm talking to you, period. So then let's see how I did that. How did I execute that? All right, so immediately, make sure you pay attention to these time frames. And the way you set the time frames, we'll talk about a little later. But so immediately, I'm sending you this. Now, this is more my speed. This looks like me. I do need to change some of these links in here. I need to go back and change some of these links. The search for homes link, I don't even think this works. Yeah, see, where am I going? I have no idea. I need to fix that. I can show you guys how to fix that. But the language is more like me. I'm so glad, Ojo connected me with you. This could be an overwhelming process, so I'm here to help. I'll review your profile, because that's typically what happens. You get a profile from Ojo, Owl City, whoever the lead source is, and I'll just talk to you when I have questions, because literally, I just talk to you. I don't need to say thank you. Thanks for visiting my website. Like, that doesn't make any sense here. Is there a particular home you're interested in? Do you want to look at homes? And let us help you find your dream home, whether you're into stainless steel appliances, large backyards, whatever it is. We're going to help you find the one. That's how I want to talk to those people that come through. And I want to text you immediately. I'm, again, glad Ojo connected me with you. Same exact sentence from the top, except this link is way better because it actually works. So if this comes through a text, depending on how savvy your phone is, this should load my whole landing page of my website right in your phone. So that's cool. This is this thing we ain't gonna talk about because I'm still testing this one out. Then there's a task that comes on in day 2. Like, you can set up property alerts for this person. Word? Let me do that. But at the same time, at day 2, they're gonna get another text message from me saying, I was about to set up some alerts for you so that when new properties hit the market that match your criteria. Is there any specific areas or price ranges you're interested in? So a lot of people respond to that, like I said, 7 days later, or day 7 from when we started this whole thing. Here's another email. Just wanted to check on you, see how your home search is going. I've been looking. I've been sending you anything that I see. Like, how's it going? If there's anything else I can do, let me know. That's more my voice, not what KB Core was doing. 14 days, again, I'm back. We should be looking at homes now. I should have changed your whole status by now to client or contract, because now I'm like, I don't need to talk to her this way or him or her this way. But if I am, then I am. Cool. They might not have been that serious or whatever. Here, campaign ending. This is a reminder. 27 days later, this is a reminder. Hey, this is ending. You may need to do something with this person. And then one day after that, did you know I have more information? I got mortgage calculators. You can figure out how much home you can afford. You can figure out, I have CMA report links. You can get down payment resources. Like, what is it that you want? Because I'm not talking to you. You know what I'm saying? I probably could stand to go back in here and add some calls too. That would be helpful. But this is how I built it out. And then you see I added my own little swag on there. Like, I want you to see me. I want you to feel like I am a real person. This is a real person contacting you to figure out why the heck we aren't talking on a weekly basis or daily basis or, period. So that's one campaign that I built out. And again, it helps tremendously to just think through each one of those steps. And then you can go back and tweak it in this section. Another one that I did, I have a client who has a 24-unit apartment complex. And I am solely responsible for putting tenants in each one of those units. So a lot of times there's a lot of movement. I mean, evictions, a whole lot of stuff. It could be a whole reality TV show over there. But I'm not a leasing office. I'm actually a person with a full-time job who looks at y'all contracts all the time and then still try to figure out how to sell homes myself. So let's figure out, how can I make this smarter? How can I make KB Core work for me in this space? Because I'm usually getting leads. If I list something, I'm getting leads from home.com, realtor.com, zillow.com, once the rental, syndicates through all of those different sources, those third-party sources that pick up your listings from an MLS. So, all right, again, I'm gonna be KB Core either on my phone or on my computer, and I'm gonna come out here and add this person, this lead that I got. So boom, 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 boom. How am I gonna trigger this new campaign? Sorry, becomes the question. How am I gonna trigger this other campaign? Well, let's start it when the source is Fairfield Place Apartments. But then I learned, dang, I just made Fairfield Place Apartments show up for everybody at Norman Associates. So if you guys go and try to add a contact in here, I'm pretty sure you'll see Fairfield Place. I was like, damn, that was early on, but it's okay. And this is for renters, and it can always run. I mean, those leads come through. They go to my website and click my chat box. They go to my Facebook. They come from so many different places because it's such an affordable. I mean, this apartment complex is $995 a month, always. So it's just affordable housing, interesting characters, just trying to live affordably. So I'm like, how can I make this work for me? Well, hi, thank you for contacting us about Fairfield Place Apartments. Get direction. It's a community that will exceed your expectation. It's close to everything and far from ordinary. One of our leasing associates will contact you shortly. That happens immediately. Who y'all think the leasing associate is? Me. I just sound really, really professional right now. And none of us really want to go show renters, right? I made sure that I put you straight to my virtual tour because I'm not coming out to show this house because otherwise people will be asking me to do it so often. So I'm like, okay, one day I'm gonna go over there with my phone. I did this on my cell phone with a stabilizer and just had the property staged really nicely and just got the whole condo. So every unit looks exactly the same. I'm just basically setting myself up to be a leasing associate. I am the leasing office for this place, me, wherever I am. And I don't want to take all these calls and answer all the same questions all the time. I want to be able to be in the shower, literally, and a lead comes through and they ask, oh, I wanted more information. And all I have to say is, can you send me a text with your full name and email address? I already got your phone number because you just called me. And I'm just going to go ahead and plug you in and you're going to get more information shortly. I can make that commitment because I know that I've already set myself up to do that immediately via email and also immediately via text message. Hey, this is Terin. Happy to hear you looking for a new apartment. I've got 2-bedroom apartments available for move-in. Let me know if you have any questions. Here's our virtual tour. Now, 10 minutes later, that leasing associate, and I'm air quoting, y'all just can't see, is reaching back out to you to say, hey, I have more available, and I might list out, so I can tweak this email right here to list out the different units that I have. If this one's on the second floor, this one's on the first floor, this one's over here, blah, 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 blah. This one's handicap accessible, depending on the different things that I have going on. But the structure is still the same. Visit our website. I just built him a new website that is gonna have all 50 of his doors together, but that's another subject. Virtual tour, et cetera, get directions. Then I've got all the lease requirements here. This website that I'm building for him will also have a page on it that will have his whole tenant selection criteria. So it was just like, I can simplify this whole thing. And then now, 5 days later, I'm just gonna say, hey, do you want to do an application or not? Basically. And again, I do need to go back and do more calls, but the amount of leads that I get here is just, I can't call all of them, but I do enjoy just keeping myself in that conversation, making calls. The auto dialer makes it very easy. So yeah, that is some of the customized campaigns that I did. So I'm gonna switch back over to my presentation to just bring this all back into context. So when you're customizing campaigns, it is extremely helpful to write down the steps, that journey. Think through that entire journey. Who is your audience? How can you leverage those statuses? Buyer, what are the statuses? Buyer, sphere, no, I'm lying. Sphere, prospect, hold on, let me just look because I'm struggling. Prospect, sphere, client, contract, close, those different statuses within the system. How can you leverage those in order to help you kickstart or trigger this journey, right? Each stop down that journey, let's call it a journey. Each stop down that journey, think through that, write it out. Like, it helps me to write it out, period. I mean, there was no other way I could do that unless I had a whiteboard at my house. I had to sit there and think through the entire journey. What is your goal? Who am I speaking to? Is this for buyers? Is this for sellers? Is it for first-time home buyers? Is it for renters that I'm trying to convert into buyers? Is it my people, my family? Is it other agents who just showed my house, my listing? I could say, hey, thank you so much. I could literally set that up to where it's just triggered by hashtag. Say, thanks so much for showing my listing at, and there's ways that you could pull in the address just by plugging in the MLS ID. Like this thing could go real, it gets really deep. This link right here, I really want to open. Oh, there we go. Okay. So to conceptualize how you can think through the journey, I do have an example here that I want to share with you guys. It's a little it's like overkill, just a little bit, but I think it'll make it visual what I'm trying to say that you guys need to think through. If you don't want to use a journal, consider doing something like this. This is just day one, initial email, initial SMS. Okay, day two, here's some links to a blog I did. Day three, here's a task. This is what you need to create, basically. Chart out the journey for whoever you're putting through this journey. Let's say if it's a FSBO, say you're gonna crawl through, I don't know, Sherelle, this for you. Say you're gonna crawl through hella sites and just pretty much grab contact information for all FSBOs. Day one, hey, got a beautiful home on the market. Just wondering, I don't know, if I told you I could sell your home in 30 days, would you be interested in taking a call or having a meeting with me? Maybe you'll drop in a video of yourself like, hey, I'm Sherelle. I specialize at, sellers in your area or something like that. You can get real creative here. Or not, but just think through the entire journey. And then once you have it laid out like this, now you're just going over to KV Core and basically breaking it down. So I'm going to share this presentation with you guys, but I did put some goodies in here to help drive this point home. So another thing that you'll see in here is this. I don't know why my links, I think it's because I'm not in slideshow mode. And I know I'm hopping around, y'all, but just bear with me. I'm trying to keep it clean, keep it cute. This is another document that I found, and I was like, oh my God, this is where I found that seller slide thing. And I was just like, this is so helpful. I have to make sure I share this with all the agents. And so this is them thinking through the whole piece, the whole tailoring of smart campaigns for your business. So these same things, but again, it's ultimately your responsibility to sit down and get those day one, day two. What are you doing now? And how can you make KV Core make you work faster? How can you use KV Core to be better, faster, smarter? And literally, you could be doing this from your phone. You want to get to that point where I could just be triggering these different things from my phone. Building your own campaign. This kind of takes you where to go. Choose your campaign logic. This is again, when lead is XYZ, then I want XYZ to happen. So again, it's just thinking through that entire roadmap. Coming back to this image. So I love this image. I was like, this I could probably do for a seller. I could do for a buyer. I could do it for a renter. I could do it for a landlord specifically, like I did. I could do, think through the entire journey and then just drop it in KV Core, and then you ain't got to do it no more. It's going to take a couple hours, but you ain't got to do it no more. Who's it designed for? Label it something that you can easily get to, put your name on it or your initials on it so you can bypass all of those system campaigns and just know exactly what you have in there. Do you want to always run it? Do you want it to be locked? I would suggest no. Let's put this in here. Lock means you can't come back and change it. No. Okay. Click next to review, add a Smith, and now it's time to add touches. Think of your templates as touches. And then campaign is just a box of touches. That's how we're gonna call it. Creating templates. So I'm about to hop back over into KV Core. I'm actually doing great timing with this whole thing. This is where I was looking at those different statuses. So when I have a sphere, how do I want to talk to them? How do I want to talk to the people in this status? You can think through that same journey using each one of these statuses. And then you would just be building your campaigns based on the statuses. But let's go into creating templates. So we spent some time just kind of looking at templates in already created campaigns. Well, now how a lot of people are like, I just can't, they get so frustrated. I really get calls like this. I just can't figure out how to change this initial message, this email. How do I change this? Well, darling, you gotta make a template. So in the out of the box system campaigns, you cannot change those. You can clone them, which I'll show you how to do that in a second. But so when you come to templates, you'll see in each one of these buckets, all the different templates that are there. Now, if I type in Savvy, which is the name of my company, you'll see all the ones I created. So that's why I said, name them things that you can easily get to. This is another one of my clients. This is the apartment complex. So I just want to be able to look at my stuff. So you would just come in here, add an email template. Come to add an email template, you give it a name, test. This can be for just you, or you can literally drop stuff in here for everybody if you have certain permissions. And maybe that's something me and Jeremy can talk about. It's just like, let's put some better stuff in here that actually sounds like us. You have two options, a basic editor or an advanced editor when you're building out emails. I personally would always suggest that you go over to the advanced editor before you start typing, because they don't copy information over from one editor to the next editor. That to me is a bug. But again, that's my IT hat coming out, and they don't pay me to find bugs and figure out how to fix them. So we're gonna just leave that alone. Just always come on over to the advanced one because it allows you to drag and drop stuff. So you can, hi, and then I want you guys to use merge tags. This is how you make it super, super personalized. Like, hi, Testa, blah, 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 period. And then you can drop a photo in here if you want. There's some dynamic content, which means you could do schedule a showing button, view a listing. You could see an agent header. You could see your agent photo. You could see the office logo. You could look for similar properties. The main listing, you could do videos. Like there's certain things in here. So say if I was building out a campaign that's asking you to schedule a showing, they can schedule showings on different listings right from KV Core. But certain things will ask you for a specific property. If a specific property is needed, you can't add it to a campaign. Campaigns can only be general stuff. But what if, now this might psych y'all out a little bit. This is another one that I did in here. So what if you wanted to automate something like, hey, congratulations, you're under contract. It's time to have the home inspected. If you haven't already, please review our inspection disclosure, and you're welcome to choose your own inspector. Here's all of the inspectors that I know and trust. Here they are. Pick one and let me know who you chose and what day and time it is. Now I don't have to go write that email. And I had it set up to where if I drop the MLS in there, it's saying you under contract at this house that I just got under contract. I literally send this every time I get under contract. Now this isn't part of a campaign. It's just a template that's living in the background that I don't have to keep writing, which is pretty awesome, if you ask me. Same thing with the lenders. If I had a conversation with you and I said, I can send you over some lenders. Well, here's the lender info that I promised. I recommend that you talk to a couple lenders. Here's 3. And some blogs that I wrote about things that you need to have prepared when you're talking to a lender. And I can just send this from KV Core literally from the shower. I could be sitting on the toilet, honestly. And I probably have been before. But it's just making you smarter, making you like work smarter, not harder. That's the whole goal here. So you might have different templates, different things that you can create and pull into those actions into the campaign. So if I think I have one I could play with. So once you build out templates, and again, you can build it out. That's the email one is the most like creative one. Let me go back here just so I don't jump around. In the templates, the email one is the most creative. This SMS is very simple. Again, test, give it a name, something that you'll remember, initial SMS to buyers or first time home buyers, or something like that. But test, give it a name, and literally you just start writing. Now here, it's not like obvious how you would add a merge tag, but if you want it to be personal, just use this bracket. You see that bracket, what it did? So hi, bracket, first name. Hi, Jasmine. Are you just browsing or are you looking to, whatever the text message needs to say, you can build it out. Or hi, I noticed you viewing a bracket. I don't know, but there's a lot of options here. I'm trying to think of what lead last property viewed. You can set up, like, if a person is being nosy in your KV core, just looking at houses all day, you can literally put them on a campaign that says, hey, I noticed you viewed last lead, the whatever property I just viewed, viewing blank on my website. Are you pre-approved right now? Are you interested in setting up a showing? You could literally automate all of this. It's just you're gonna have to take some time to build it out. SMS is probably the easiest one, just because it's just one box. You don't want to text somebody a whole paragraph. But you have all of these things that you can actually put as a part of the text message. Again, if you wanted to thank agents for showing your listing, you can make one, but you're going to have to send those manually, because anything that involves an address of a property, you're going to have to resend. You're going to have to manually trigger that. Text, calls are pretty easy too. Create a call template. If you want to have a script or something already populated in here, you could do that. You can set that up. Task, again, another easy one. Task template, you basically give it a name. Hey, don't forget to add your transaction to Broker Sumo. You could put that in there and then make it a part of, I don't know, your contract campaign that you started and made, individually. And then think of what you're doing now. Think of all the journeys that you take per transaction, per lead source, per person, blase. Just build out a campaign full of templates that you created and then automate that. That's basically what we're doing. I'm gonna flip back over. I know I got like 10 minutes. I'm gonna flip back over to my presentation. So remember, I'm gonna give you an example of just how to think through that day 1, day 2, day 3, or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however aggressive you wanna be. And then just reminding you that these are, hold on, I'm messing stuff up. These are all the templates that you have. This is an advanced one. Don't stress yourself out trying to figure out how to do this right now. When creating the templates, make sure you use a unique name so that you can easily find it. Here, I'm telling you about how to get back to those merge tags. So it's a button that says merge tags when you're creating the email templates, but it's not necessarily obvious when you're creating an SMS template that you need to type in that bracket. So typing in that bracket right there will give you some opportunities to personalize your text messages. So you can pull in their name and all of that stuff if necessary. This is just a placeholder so that when I do figure out how I could teach this to people, it'll be easier. This is actually a link. It's a YouTube video that I felt was very, very helpful. And so if you guys aren't really grasping the concept of these campaigns from the KV Core training, and it looks like I'm frozen now, which is great. There's other goodies that I included in here. Sample drip campaigns, a couple more videos. I found some KV Core like fireside chats almost with like some career coaches who can really kind of drill down, but basically everybody's gonna yell at you about working smarter and not harder. That is the whole general concept of what we're doing here. Let's talk status and action plans with a career coach, a success coach, a real estate success coach, leveraging Facebook lead ads for your listings. And I'll just continue to grow this section as I uncover other, resources and things like that. But yeah, so I think that pretty much covers campaigns. Questions, thoughts, comments. If you are drinking from a fire hose right now, I want all feedback. So I should see a lot of these coming off mute.
Thank you, Terin. That was super helpful. You are a comedian, and yeah, that definitely gave me some insight on how to set up campaigns and just, streamline my thought process on it a little better. So thank you.
Oh, thanks for calling me a comedian.
You are. I was laughing.
I mean, I enjoy teaching. So yeah, I just have to keep myself in good spirits. It keeps you guys listening. So yeah. Give me some more
Absolutely.
feedback. More feedback.
I feel dumb because the add action button was there this whole entire time.
You know, I've used you as an example. That's what that was. I love you, Sherelle, though. It's okay. But yeah, add action. So basically you just need to go and build your own templates. But I'm about to switch back over there to that because I didn't tell you guys how to clone. So like if you see something that has a good basis of what you're trying to do, like, so for example, this default new buyer, if it has a good basis, but you're like, I can't edit this stuff because it's not yours, click clone it. And then that's basically what I did. I cloned it first. And then from the cloning, I went and did my own thing. Where is it? It's on the second page. Default buyer. Here we go. So I was able to now go in and edit. Once you clone it, you can edit. So then you'll get less frustrated, Cheryl. Just put your name on it or something so you know which one to use. But here, if you clone the out of the box campaigns, then you have the right to come in here and change what's going on with it. So that's kind of a way to avoid starting from scratch. But after a while, I was like, I could start from scratch, because remember those templates, everything that is out of the box in the campaign is literally out of the box in the template section. So it's just kind of giving you some structure guidelines there, and then you may not want to have to keep clicking back and forth. I don't know, but yeah. Any other comments, questions, stuff? I don't know what I'm sharing. Am I sharing my whole desktop?
Terin, that was really great. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
I'm just trying to manage my time more so than anything else. So, having you go over this again certainly does help.
Yeah, so you got to spend some time to get that time back. That's how you got to look at it. Yeah. It's a trade-off. It's an awesome trade-off.
Yeah, like, trying to manage my clients and manage this at the same time. So yeah, I'm working it out.
Spend some time. It's a great trade-off, but just think of like your most frequent. Because yeah, that's I be seeing you, girl. You don't make me coming across my phone every time a person signs something. I get a notification on my phone. I be seeing Desta. I see you, girl, because you was brand new just not too long ago. Now you just be sending stuff to sign. I be like, okay.
I know. I'm working hard.
You working, but now we need to work smarter. So you're gonna have to take some of that time to just make stuff kind of happen a little flowy. Think of all the stuff that you have to do. Think of the things. Yeah. Think of the things that you start here. This is where I started. Think of the things you copy and paste. Think of that email that you copy and paste repeatedly over and over again, and just start with that template right there.
Yeah. Well, it has taken some time, I guess, to kind of get to where I'm at, simply because I'm a multitasker. So I'm always all over the place. And now I'm also working on branding and that type of thing. So I'm trying to do branding, trying to learn KV Core, trying to manage my clients. And so I think it's just finding a balance, where I can also still have time to breathe a little bit. So it's coming together.
Welcome to the real estate industry.
I know. I know.
That is like everybody's challenge, balance. So
well, you know what? I'm actually proud of myself because it's not quite a year. So
no, you're doing happy. Great. You're doing great. We just gotta free you up. So
yeah.
I get balance. Trust me, I get balance. I have the same struggle. I mean, just with trying to juggle a full-time job, trying to make Jeremy make me full-time, and trying to be a full-time agent at the time. So there's like 4 full-time roles. I don't even know if there's that much time in a day. Yeah, but that's the whole importance of working smarter, not harder.
Indeed. Yeah, but this is great. Thank you again.
No problem. Any other comments? I'm gonna switch to the next slide just so you guys can see that and stalk me a little bit. All right, so hopefully this was helpful. I did record it properly to the cloud. I have a very bad habit of recording stuff to my computer, and then it was like just too large to even do anything with. So I did it right. So in a few minutes or so, give it about 10 minutes, the link should be available to me. I will share that with Teresa, and then she will disseminate that to the rest of our team, our family. And yeah, feel free to ask me questions. If you're gonna ask me questions about KV Core, I would just ask you to do it in the group chat. Just because I'm pretty sure it's 40 people who have the same questions or just didn't even know. And we wanna get everybody active in KV Core. So if you have a question for me regarding KV Core, do it in the big group and just at me, and I think I get an email. Sometimes I get lost in the sauce with the notifications in Ring Central, but do it in the group so that I can answer it in the group. And then if I don't respond right away, text me like, hey girl, I just said something to you, Ring Central, you ain't saying nothing. People do that to me all the time too, so that's fine. But yeah, just ask me those questions in the group. Same thing for like .loop. Any systems questions, I would just prefer it to be in a space where a lot of people are afraid to ask questions. So it would just be easier to do it that way. But that is my time, y'all. Right at the hour. Oh, she is good. Good.
Thank you, Terin, so much. This has been awesome. Thanks again.
No problem. No problem. Hopefully this helps. And again, just get y'all paper out, get y'all journeys down, and just start there. And don't feel like you need to build 40 campaigns. Just start with that main one. If you're leaning towards being a seller's agent, focus on, how you want to communicate to those folks. If you're leaning towards being more of a buyer's agent, focus on how you want to communicate to those folks, or build templates out that you're sending all the time. Anything you're copying and pasting all over and over and over again, build templates for that and use KV Core to help you out. It's gonna be awesome. Y'all got it.